This is the Democratic Voice of Burma. Welcome to DVB English News. I'm Joe. In this week's briefing, the regime replaces its Deputy Minister of Defense in a reshuffle. Miemie Winn Byrd on the unprecedented unity between resistance forces. People's Goal encourages new military conscripts to desert. The Myanmar kyat continues to depreciate. And the Border Consortium continues to advocate for refugees 40 years on. The regime appointed Golay as the new Deputy Minister of Defense on May 28th, stated military sources. His predecessor Aung Hlin Dun was removed from the post. He is serving a 10-year prison sentence for his alleged involvement in crime during his time based in the Kokang self-administered zone of northern Shan State. A military source told DVB that Golay will focus his efforts on drone operations. This will be done in collaboration with officers who have returned from training in Russia. Several other high-ranking officers in the regime were reassigned. The commander of the Naypyidaw Regional Military Headquarters, Saltan Line, and the communications director and military weaponry director were transferred to the reserve forces. So Main from the Coastal Military Headquarters was reassigned as the divisional commander in Naypyidaw. Miemie Winn Byrd, a retired U.S. Army veteran and a distinguished scholar specializing in U.S.-Myanmar relations, spoke to DVB Bureau Chief Momo Myat. They discussed the unprecedented unity among Myanmar's diverse resistance to the 2021 military coup.
This is the first time in Myanmar history that these groups are fighting side by side against a common enemy. In the past, in some cases, some of them are on the opposite side. Because nobody came to help them, they knew that they had to do the hard work of cooperating with each other, and they did it.
That was Miemie Winn Byrd, a retired U.S. Army veteran and a distinguished scholar specializing in U.S.-Myanmar relations. Newsroom Podcast Episode 11 will be available on Monday, June 3rd. Find DVB English News wherever you get your podcasts. Dinza Shunlei Yi, the executive member of the military defector support group called People's Goal, spoke to DVB. She said that the number of defections, surrenders, and desertions from the military have surged over the last 3 years.
The actual number on the ground could be a lot higher, could be like 2 times, because there are so many soldiers who don't trust the different ethnic revolutionary groups or either national unity government for their own safety.
That was Dinza Shunlei Yi, the executive member of the military defector support group People's Goal. The National Unity Government has verified 14,000 military defectors. A United States Institute of Peace report states that the military has lost 21,000 service members since 2021. Dinza Shunlei Yi added that the 5,000 new military conscripts trained each month since April could soon increase the number of deserters. The regime activated its military conscription law on February 10th. DVB currency data states that the foreign exchange rate has surged at 4,730 kyat per US dollar on Thursday. The exchange rate earlier this month was 3,970 kyat per US dollar.
For the last 1 year, the estimated inflation rate has been around 35%. The mismanagement of the economy after the coup has led to the high inflation in the country.
That was Miemie Winn, a lecturer at California State University, Sacramento, who specializes in Myanmar's economy. Inflation has increased since the Central Bank of Myanmar issued a warning on May 24th. It stated that those engaged in illegal foreign currency trading would be prosecuted. 40 years ago, the Border Consortium was born out of necessity to provide food, shelter, and support to refugees from Myanmar and Thailand.
We have been asked by the government and the military in Thailand, can you do something for these refugees? There were almost 10,000 who crossed the border. And of course, one organization or one church cannot do all the job. So they started to consult each other. And finally, they decided, let's do something together.
That was Leon de Riedmatten, the executive director at the Border Consortium. TBC wants to see the 9 refugee camps in Thailand granted permanent status by Bangkok. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees stated that as of January, a total of 82,400 registered refugees from Myanmar live there. And that's it for this week's briefing. I'm Joe. Stay tuned to DVB English News on X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And don't forget to check us out on the YouTube Music app. Thanks for listening.